even though Tugger is a little bit selfish, if I could say so, he still just wants like everybody to be happy, for the right person to be chosen, for people to be accepted, which is truly an inspiring thing, which I have loved to figure out about Tugger. You see people looking at the different cats and being like, oh my gosh, who's that? What is that one doing? And it really is, you feel when you're on stage, you feel like you're a tribe. So it doesn't feel like there is one person that needs to stand out more than the other. I still can't believe I am in a touring production of Cats that gets to travel the world, where I look back and I was 16 years old, didn't even know how to dance, went into an audition and just gave him my all. And now here I am, a musical theatre triple threat performer in Cats.
All right, the Neeta Mukesh Ambani Cultural Center for the Performing Arts for the very first time brings us Cats, the musical by the great Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber. It's at the Grand Theatre. It's a substantial run, 17th of June to the 28th of June. There are 2 showings over the weekends, 2:30 in the afternoon and 7:30 in the evening. And of course, this is a fabulous, fabulous musical. The West End and Broadway have embraced it. A winner of 7 Tony Awards, an Olivier, a Grammy, a moonlit mystery that can really exist only on stage. And that's the way we're doing it. The venue is wheelchair accessible, and please get on to Book My Show as well as nmacc.com for tickets online. If you prefer, go to the box office yourself. They're open in the box office at the Neeta Mukesh Ambani Cultural Center. Joining me today is Dylan Janse van Rensburg, who plays Rum Tum Tugger. What's up, Dylan? Thank you for joining.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Now listen, Dylan, Tugger has his own huge number, and we're going to come to that. But he also gets this wonderful function in Magical Mister Mistoffelees, where he turns the attention onto another cat. What does that reveal about Tugger? Is there generosity hiding underneath all that vanity?
So, yeah, definitely. I definitely think so. So Tugger is seen as this very standalone cat, very independent, if I can say so. So whenever the pack goes to the one side of the stage, Tugger makes it known to do the opposite and then go on the other side of the stage. So he can be in his own little world, in his own little spotlight. But then when Mister Mistoffelees comes around, Tugger goes, listen, guys, I have this idea. And everybody at first goes, oh, it's just Tugger being Tugger. Like, no one's going to take him seriously. And he gives this amazing idea, and it's something fresh. It's something that people will be like, this doesn't sound like Tugger. This is actually a good idea. So when he sings this Mister Mistoffelees songs, I think it definitely opens people's mind to saying like, yeah, Tugger can be independent and on his own, but deep down, I think he has this soft spot for many, many cats, even though he doesn't show it. So, yeah, I definitely think so. And I think Mister Mistoffelees has a very special place in his heart. And that's why Mistoffelees allows him to sing it, because he gives such a performance. And Mistoffelees is also such a performative cat. Like, he has a big spotlight. He's magical, and the only person in the tribe to actually be able to pull off a song like Mister Mistoffelees and actually showcase all his abilities and wonders is the rock star himself, which is Tugger. But for Tugger to agree it's definitely an out of character thing, but the fact that he does agree shows that he has deep care for a character like Mister Mistoffelees, or a cat like Mister Mistoffelees. But you can also see it's not just in Mister Mistoffelees. Like, Tugger has these people that he clings to and that you can see he's very well known with. So someone like Plato, for instance, he definitely has like a little brotherly attitude towards Plato. So there's another scenario where you can see that Tugger is just, he's more friendly, he's more outgoing. He shows more of his true colors with that cat. And someone, even though it looks like it, but Tugger and Monkeystrap, who are actually brothers, in this show, you can see that Monkeystrap and Tugger they butt heads. They have their moments where they're like, ooh, no, this is not going to go well. But deep down, there is such immense love and respect for one another. And one can see that definitely in a song like Old Deuteronomy, where Tugger sings off after Monkestrap, and they're singing about their father, and they come together in the end and they sing together, and it's like a unified version of being like, listen, we have our differences, but we still love each other, and it's amazing to see what our father has done, and we're coming together to celebrate him and celebrating him coming back and choosing who the chosen one is going to be to go to the Heaviside layer. And even though Tugger is a little bit selfish, if I could say so, he still just wants like everybody to be happy, for the right person to be chosen, for people to be accepted, which is truly an inspiring thing, which I have loved to figure out about Tugger, because it's so easy to just be like, I'm the best as Tugger. Like Tugger is the only one who's like, he's the big role, like he's meant to be on stage. But if you delve into the character, you can see how caring he actually is.
You know, Dylan, cats can look plot light from the outside, but it's at its heart, it's about each cat stepping forward and saying, this is who I am. See me. Is that why performers love it so much? Because every character gets a claim to identity. And this, I'm asking you to speak from a pure performer's perspective.
Yeah, definitely. Like, one thing that I've noticed about Cats compared to other musicals is that there's no lead. You can't like watch the show and be like, oh, there's the lead and there's the ensemble. It is a whole unified production where everybody has to work together in order for the show to be a success. And that is one thing that I have noticed about our cast is when I look around, because Tugger has a lot of moments where he can look around at the other cats and what they're doing. Everybody is so in their own world, and it doesn't matter if their name has been mentioned in the show or not, but they are having so much fun and enjoyment that you can literally see them smiling, and you see people looking at the different cats and being like, oh my gosh, who's that? What is that one doing? How are they reacting with that cat? So to be able to do that, it brings everybody, and it really is, you feel when you're on stage, you feel like you're a tribe. So it doesn't feel like there is one person that needs to stand out more than the other. And I think that's what brings the enjoyment to, even though you have your own identity, you're still one big family, all like proving and helping provide the show go along. Whereas in another show, it's like you have your leads that drive the plot. You have your ensemble that is there to be like background and fantastic and amazing. But in this show, it's everybody drives the plot. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter who you play. It is just a whole bunch of cat fun on stage, which I personally love. And it's a pleasure to be able to watch that every night, to see everybody doing their own thing, because everybody found their own cat in this whole process. So you don't have to follow a specific regiment when it comes to finding your character. Like some are clumsy, some are a little bit standoffish, some are peculiar and observant. So I think that's what makes it so fun for everybody to be a part of. And yeah, it's truly an inspirational show as a castmate to watch.
You know, Hrishi K writes 3 words for Tugger: preening, perverse, independent. Are just fantastic actor notes, aren't they, Dylan? I mean, can you break down how those 3 words translate into your body? The walk, the shoulders, the eyes, the tail, the pauses, the way Tugger enters a space.
Oh, yeah, completely. So I'm going to be honest. At first, like when I came into this beautiful production of Cats, I had my way of finding a character, because I mainly like when I am diving into a character and seeing how I want to portray it, I always trying to find the truth in the character. So I had these 3 words given to me, and I was like, okay, I'm going to find my truth and then go to the 3 words and try to figure out how I can incorporate into it. And in the beginning, I really struggled with finding my Tugger, my character as Tugger. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? What is going on with this? Like, I'm not finding it. I'm not finding the truth in it. And as soon as I stepped back and I said, okay, go back to the basics, see what you've been given. And I got preening, independent, and verse. And I was like, and then I took those 3 words and I put it in on the floor on that day. And I realized so much. That is where I actually found the truth in my character. So for preening, Tugger is such a drama queen. Like he really, really is. He just wants to always look good. He never can show that he's like, has a little bit of an off day, if I can say so. So for preening, he's always making sure he looks good, because Tugger always wants to look good, because that's how he impresses people. He always wants to make sure. So every now and then I make sure like I give it a little clean on my fur, or like shake out my big mane, which is one of my favorite things to do, by the way. I love a little shake. Everyone always goes to me when they come and find me. They're like, who are you? I was like, I'm the one that gave a little shimmy. So preening is definitely, it's like I'm always cleaning myself, making myself look good so that people can see that I look good. Because I definitely think Tugger puts on a front of being like, this is who I am. I want to look good. I want people to see that I look good. But deep down is like, there's a bigger thing as to why he wants to look good. It's because he wants to be accepted, because he feels so alone. And then the independent side of it is definitely like, to make a stand. Tugger is not one to live life small. He makes sure he's heard. He makes sure he's known and seen. So being independent, being an independent person, you kind of can get away with that in a way, because like I said, if people go that way, Tugger will go the other way. And that is just so he can break the barrier, so he can make himself more known, more like in his own little spotlight. So that is the independent side to him. So when I figured that out, I was like, yes, so everybody's going to go dance in this group. Tugger's going to make sure he can be seen in this dance, because he's going to put his own little spin on this. Because he's independent and he doesn't want to follow the rules of everybody else, because rules are boring in Tugger's eyes. So for my independency, like especially in Old Deuteronomy as well, everybody's now going to hug Old Deuteronomy, but there's Tugger on top of the pipe, cleaning himself and giving a little shimmy and making sure that he's on top and can be seen by everybody. And then the perverse is, again, it's just him doing the opposite of every other little thing that everybody says yes to. And I think it's really seen in his relationship with Munkerstrap, because Munkerstrap definitely tries to put Tugger in his place, definitely being a brother, probably also the older brother. Munkerstrap's like, this is the way you should live, this is the way you should follow the rules. But Tugger's like, I think I'm actually going to do the opposite. So he's very perverse in that sense. And he's like, I'm actually not going to follow Dad's rules. I'm going to create my own. And that's what makes my life so fun. And that's what makes Tugger Tugger, and quite the iconic cat, if I can say so myself.
Dylan, take us back for a moment. A boy who almost became a marine biologist, but joined a children's choir at age 14. Do you remember the first play or musical you auditioned for, and how did that go? And when you trace the line from that first community theatre audition to now, when you're about to stand in the wings in India at the Grand Theatre NMACC, what's the moment that surprised you most about your own journey?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I can't believe I'm actually going to be performing in India. Like, little old me would never, ever have imagined that this would have happened in my lifetime. But like you said, when I was young, I had a dream of becoming a marine biologist. I remember since I was a kid, my mom and gran used to take me to the aquarium every weekend, and I thought it was such a magical place. And I fell in love with the ocean, and I fell in love with sea creatures and saving our planet and saving our ocean. And then, of course, I joined primary school and I started singing at a young age, since I was 7, and I joined the choir. And so I was like, marine biology is definitely all the way, because I never expected myself to go into a career in the culture side, the cultural side. Like, I never expected to be a singer, dancer, and actor like where I am now. And so in my head, marine biology was my whole thing. Even in high school, I said, I'm going to be a marine biologist after this, and I'm going to go study and I'm going to go save the planet. Until musical theater came into my life, and it made me love something even more. Even though I still have immense love for the ocean, and I still love going to the aquarium, and I still feel the way I did when I was a child, and I still look out and I'm like, I still belong there. But musical theater definitely came in. I mean, I only joined musical theater when I was 16, so much later in life. And I auditioned at our local playhouse in Somerset West, and I auditioned for Annie Get Your Gun. And now I've never heard of that musical before, and I had never danced. I had done maybe one play in primary school, but luckily I had sung my whole life. So I at least had one of the things in the bag that I knew. So stepping into a room full of people who could sing, dance, and act, and have also been doing it for quite some time, it was a bit stressful, not gonna lie. So I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. But my friend who came with me she was like, just, you know what, give it your all. And if you don't get in, you don't get in. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna try, because I enjoy singing, and I've loved High School Musical my whole life. I mean, I could sing all the songs from that. And I was like, wouldn't that be cool to do? So when I went to this audition, I had that in mind, and I did it, and I went in there, and I did it with all my might and all my force. I gave the best I could in the dancing, and listen, it was not great at all. Like I definitely think they looked at me and was like, what is he doing here? But I got in to that production, luckily, and I went to rehearsals, and I finished that show, and I said, something has bitten. Something is so special about this thing I was doing. I just wanted to do it more and more and more. I didn't want it to end. When it did end, when that show ended, I was so distraught. Like, I remember coming home and crying and being like, I don't know why I'm feeling this way, but it was just so magical and so pure. So then I auditioned for the next one because the auditions came, and I was like, let me try a lead. Let me see what happens. And then I luckily I got accepted to play the lead in that show. And after that, I was bit. The musical bug had bit me, and I kept on auditioning. And then one show of Annie at my local playhouse, when I played Rooster, Dwayne Alexander and Anton Nating, who are the founders of LAMTA, which was the college I went to, they came to watch that show, actually, and they had watched it, and I had heard of LAMTA once, but I never thought about it as a career and something that I'd really go into. They came to watch it, and I didn't know at first, but one of my friends who was in the show was like, oh, I'm going to go to MTW, which was a musical theater workshop that they did. And I went there, and I did the workshop over December holidays, and I found a whole different world of musical theater. It was so different to the amateur side of the world that I was used to, but it was thrilling. It was exciting. I loved learning new songs that I would never thought of I would have learned. I did ballet for the first time at that workshop, which I had never done before. So stepping into that world, I was like, this is intense, but I love it. I love it so, so much. And then after that, Anton and Dwayne messaged me like, we're having a musical theater workshop accelerator course. So that is every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I would go into LAMTA, and I do like dancing, singing. And I said yes to that. And that was the start of my journey in the musical theater world, I believe. And the thing that really, really surprised me with this whole thing that happened in my life is how everything in this world actually happens the way it should. Because if my friend didn't invite me to go and do that show, I would have never found my love for musical theater. I would have definitely been in the ocean somewhere, and I would have been happy, but I don't think I would have been as happy as I am today, where I am in this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful industry. And I am so grateful, and I'm so amazed that each step that I took led me to where I am today. And I still can't believe I am in a touring production of Cats that gets to travel the world, where I look back and I was 16 years old, didn't even know how to dance, went into an audition and just gave them my all. And now here I am, a musical theater triple threat performer in Cats. Yeah, I'm...
Segues beautifully into my next question. You graduate from LAMTA in Cape Town in 2024, and within barely a year, you've done My Fair Lady, you've played Joseph and the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and then landed Rum Tum Tugger in Cats. And now you're on a world tour. Now, I want to know about your journey with those two productions, one written by Alan J. Lerner, My Fair Lady, and the one by Andrew Lloyd Webber, now another one by Andrew Lloyd Webber. I would love to know your experience of working on Joseph and My Fair Lady.
Oh, of course. So I auditioned for My Fair Lady at the beginning of my third year, and this was my first ever professional theatre audition. So you hear a lot about the outside world, outside of LAMTA, but it's in the LAMTA building. So you only hear like the ins and outs. So stepping into that actual professional world where people do this for their jobs, like this was going to be my job, I was so nervous because I did not know how that world worked. Like, how do you act in a rehearsal room? How does putting on a show in such a specific amount of time actually work? So My Fair Lady being my first show, I don't think I could have asked for a better show. It was so spectacular and amazing, and I'm so grateful for everything I learned, because in My Fair Lady we had a lot of musical theater and acting veterans in the show that have done shows their whole life, and I took a step back and I just said, look at what they're doing. Look at how they handle themselves in a room. Look at how they push themselves to do better, to be better. Look at how they're performing. Look at how they've done their research and how prepared they are to come into a room. And I had learned so much from that production. And the cast was even more amazing because being in LAMTA, you obviously surrounded by only LAMTA students. So you never get to branch out to like Waterfront, even people from Joburg. Like, you're so stuck in that little world. But in this show, there were so many people from so many different places, like Cape Town Opera, Waterfront Theatre School, Oaksfield. Some people like, it was insane that we all could come together, create a beautiful show, and I got to meet very lovely people and new people, which was really, really, really exciting. And I remember learning so much and sitting back there because I got to play in the ensemble and I was one of the dancers. And I remember just sitting there, singing my heart out. And then when it came to dancing, I danced my shoes off. And it was just spectacular to see what this industry and what this world actually has to offer. Because I don't think I would have been able to experience it if I wasn't in that role of being fortunate enough to be able to be an ensemble, to literally see and observe everything. Like, I got to observe so much. And then I honestly feel like that prepared me to take on a lead when I got to play Joseph last year, which was also such an incredible experience. I got to work with, luckily, a lot of my friends who were in LAMTA with me, and some outside people where, again, you get to meet people in an amazing show like Joseph, which is high energy, upbeat, and quite intense, actually, now come to think about it. But Joseph was such an amazing experience. It was my debut as a lead performer in the professional world. And I was surrounded by Lelo Ramasumong and Chris Jafta, who were my narrator and Pharaoh. And those two, including me, next three, to be in the presence of them, it was absolutely amazing. I mean, I got to share a dressing room with Chris Jafta, and the things that man says, like, I just was a sponge and I soaked it all up, because he knows how this industry works, not even in the theater world, but in the television, film, radio world. He knows everything. He's seen the ins and outs. I learned so much from him. And Lelo she was grace on legs. It was just beautiful, the way she conducted herself, the way she held herself, and her voice. It was, I get goosebumps every time thinking about it. And then getting to work with such fun and energetic young cast, because for our production of Joseph, we put a little spin on it. We made it fresh and funky. So it gave us an opportunity to come into a room and put on a show that, yes, maybe many people have seen, but we're giving them something new, something different, a Joseph they have never ever seen. And that was one thing that I was so grateful to be a part of. But yeah, when I think back to it, it's amazing to see the people and how they shape a show as well. Because if you put a group of people who like work well together, you can really, truly, truly create magic. And I definitely think we did that in Joseph, because every night you felt that sense of wonderment and you felt that sense of joy that one should feel when leaving a theater. And then after that, I unfortunately had to leave Joseph early because I went into Cats, but stepping into another Andrew Lloyd Webber show where the world's literally your oyster, going into a world tour, and you're stepping into a really already beloved character like Tugger. It was very nerve-wracking, not gonna lie. And I'm also now working with different people, more people you don't know. So it's also coming into a room where it's like, nobody knows you, nobody knows what you're bringing to the table. So it's that pressure of like, ooh, I'm actually starting to sweat in the corner, but you know what? I just have to put on a smile, I have to put on a face and be like, this is me, this is who I am, this is what I'm here to give and what I'm here to showcase. Which was truly, truly a blessing to see. And I, again, got to work with so many industry professionals that I have looked up to when I was in college in Cats. So to be able to actually share a stage with them, it's truly, it's a dream come true, which I'm so grateful for it. And I don't have words to explain like how amazing this opportunity has been.
Dylan, you've spoken about watching a filmed version of Cats for the first time during the pandemic lockdown, and how that single viewing made something click. And this was a character that you just had to play one day. Walk us through that moment. What was it about that filmed performance? Who was the blueprint for you that told you, this is mine, got to do it?
Yeah. So it was during COVID, and on YouTube, I think it was every Thursday night, but there was a What's on Stage, and they used to screen musicals. And there were all the different ones, and you could Google which one is going to be this week. And then it was Cats. And I had never seen Cats before. And my dad actually watched it on the West End. And I remember them being like, oh, it's good, we'll watch it, but it's not my favorite. And I was like, okay, well then let's see what it's about. And I remember sitting there, having maybe started dancing for like a few weeks. And I remember sitting there watching this dance heavy show and being blown out of my mind. I just watched these performers sing and dance their heart out. I had never seen a show like this before. Like, the most I had seen is mainly you're gonna sing, dance, and act. I've never seen it all combined together and in one musical. So it was quite intense to watch. And I just remember sitting and questioning, how do they do it? How are they putting a smile on their face and giving an amazing performance? And I was just in awe of each and every one of those actors. And I think that movie is ingrained in my brain forever. But then Tugger came onto the floor, and it was played by John Patridge. And I remember sitting there and I was like, this man has so much confidence. He is oozing it out of every point of his body. And I was sitting there, I was like, this takes skills and also guts. It takes a lot of guts to go onto the stage and play a character like Tugger. And I sat there and being like, oh no, I could never do this. This is intense. This is something that like I'll have to work towards, like if I ever wanted to do it. Because he's an icon. Tugger is an icon that people remember. So you have to be able to play a character that people will love and like react to. So when I sat there, I was like, oh, I would love to do it, but I don't know if I have the balls to do it. So when I decided, I was like, yeah, it would be so much fun. And after that moment, I remember the song that he sang, which was the Rum Tum Tugger and Mister Mistoffelees. And I remember his vocals in that movie. And I was like, I will one day play that character. And when I do, I want the time to be right. And I want to do it to the full and the best of its ability. So, and I definitely think the time was right for me to step in because, yeah, I am having so much fun. And I look back and be like, haha, I actually did have the guts to do it. And now I'm doing it and I'm loving it.
You know, Andrew Lloyd Webber himself has said Rum Tum Tugger is partly an homage to the great Mick Jagger of the Rolling Stones, the rock star archetype, the swagger, the strut. Now, as you built this character, how much did rock and roll iconography influence your choices, Dylan? Were there particular performers, musicians, not necessarily actors, but rock and roll guys, musicians that you drew from to find Tugger's prowl, his pose, his showmanship?
Oh, yeah, there was. This was actually like one of my research points that I did to find the character of Tugger, is to find iconic rock stars in this world. And two rock stars that really, really stood out for me that I wanted to like grasp from their energy and their persona on stage were Freddie Mercury and Benson Boone. There we go, that's his name. It was Benson Boone and Freddie Mercury. So those two iconic rock stars, honestly, that's where I derived my Tugger from, because Freddie Mercury can come onto stage, literally sing a tune and have people chanting after him and like singing at the top of their lungs, screaming, and people adoring him and loving him, even though he was so different in the time. Like, he was so different. So that's what I wanted Tugger to be like. I wanted people to love him and to adore him, even though he's the opposite of some other cats. And the way Freddie also owned the stage, there was no one like him. There was no one like him at the time. And I got to see that. And I wanted Tugger to own the stage exactly like that. I wanted him to come out there and imagine he was wearing something amazing. Like, Tugger has his fur and his bedazzle. Like, Freddie Mercury had the white tank top. Like, if you picture Freddie Mercury, white tank top and the jeans and the moustache, and Tugger had fur and the collar. So that is one thing that really stood out to me, that I love the comparison with the two. And then Benson Boone, who is a more upcoming artist, which I related to because I listen to his music a lot, and his vocals are insane. That man can sing at the top of his register and at the bottom of his register. He can do anything, which is quite similar to Tugger. Tugger does have some high notes and also some low notes. So it was quite interesting to figure that one out as well in the room. But Benson Boone can come onto stage, do a backflip, and then people love him. And then he just sings his heart out and has fun. Like, you can see in Benson Boone's smile. Like, I've watched so many videos of him performing live, and he just has the most fun. He, like, afterwards, he's sweating and you can see he's worked for what he's done. And I'm telling you, Tugger does the same. I come off of stage, and after Tugger, I am sweating. I've had the biggest sweat of my life, and I'm like, but you know what? I come off with a smile on my face because I had so much fun, and that's one thing I definitely took from Benson.
Now, T.S. Eliot's original 1939 poem, Rum Tum Tugger, in that one, is more of a contrarian. The cat is always on the wrong side of every door, who wants pheasant when offered grouse, who refuses cream until he finds it himself. Andrew Lloyd Webber transformed that contrarian streak into a rock star diva. As an actor, Dylan, how do you keep both versions alive? The literary cat from T.S. Eliot's verse and the rebellious rock god of the musical, and you got to keep it inside the same performance, right?
Yeah, no, yeah, it's actually quite a difficult thing, because Tugger can be seen as this very selfish person, like very to his own, and total opposite of everything, which is one of his things. But there's a very fine line to where you have to go, that it's not out of bounds and actually like rude and out of character. So finding that balance of being independent but also lovable and part of the group and an iconic diva rock star, it was something I definitely had to like figure out and work with, which was all to do in the room. Because once you're on stage, then you have to have that down, because you don't want to go on stage and then figure it out there, because then the audience can see that. So one thing that I personally did to try and make that little line smaller was have my independent moments. But when it comes to the time of showing like genuine feelings, generosity, like being caring, that is when Tugger steps in, and you can see it with some cats where he's like, actually, like, I'm going to be friendly with you right now. Even though it might be out of my character, I still am going to show you that I have love to give towards you. And I think that is definitely a way to show that the contrary beliefs of what T.S. Eliot wrote about him. And yeah, because he isn't just this lone cat who is the opposite of everything. Even though he wants to seem to be, he has the side of the love, because I think Tugger has so much love to give. He has a lot to prove, especially in the tribe where people think he's only fun and games. So I think he has a lot to prove, but when he does do it, it makes it seem even more like it's worth it and more genuine. So for me, when Tugger is on stage and he gets to say like, hold up, don't judge me, just listen to me, hear me out, hear what I have to say. Where usually I feel like to the T.S. Eliot one, Tugger would, as soon as people would turn around, he'd be like, fine, I'm going to be independent, I'll go on my own way. But here, Tugger goes, actually, forget everything I've done. Yes, I know I can be a joker. Yes, I know I can do crazy things and have fun, but I actually just want you to hear what I have to say. And for me, I think that is so inspiring to see, because it shows growth. Tugger definitely grows in this whole show. In the beginning, he's saying, can you say of your bite that it's worse than your bark? Like he's very alone. He's also on the top of the stage. He starts off at the top, very far, where everybody else is on the floor, closer to the stage. So he starts at the top, and then at the end, all the way to the heavy side layer, he's part of the group. He's in the group. He's not out on his own on the side or at the top. He's surrounded by his tribe, his family. So I definitely think that is one thing that I have learned, is just to show that Tugger actually cares and is genuine and can have a good time and as well be loving.
You know, I take it for granted that cats must be the most physically taxing show you've ever done, and that the role lives high in your voice in places you never sung in front of an audience before. Take us through your warm-ups. Are they non-negotiable? Your pre-show rituals, Dylan? Walk our listeners through what a performance day actually looks like for Rum Tum Tugger, from the morning to your final bow.
Yeah, no, I have to say Rum Tum Tugger is one of the most difficult characters I've ever had to do. Like, you have to perform 8 shows a week and make sure your voice is in tip-top condition, as well as your body, when it comes to dancing. So warm-ups are non-negotiable. It is something that I take very, very seriously, because I am putting myself in a situation where Tugger has such a rock and roll voice. It's a different style of voice that I haven't really used before in my life, because I'm very classically trained and musical theater trained. So, but with Tugger, he has like this like a little bit of a rock and roll rasp, which I like to call it. So it's more like pop. It's more pop version. So I have to make sure that I am warmed up, because I'm hitting notes that I have never hit live on a stage before. So every day when I go on there, I pray and I'll be like, listen, if it needs to come out, it needs to come out. I don't care what happens, but it needs to come out. And so I have to do a vocal warm-up. I usually do like light hum while I get to the theater, and then I do the vocal warm-up with the company, because you don't want to over warm up your voice, because then it gets tired. And then as well, a warmed up body, your voice will be warm as well. So a physical warm-up is so important, and luckily we have fantastic people who lead warm-up, so we make sure that our bodies and voices are prepared. And then my pre-show rituals are also very non-negotiable. I have to do them, or else I will start to overthink, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this show's not going to work, it's not going to be great. So I miss my car so much. But before the show starts, I always have to give a hug to Michael Fillard, who plays Carl Buckety. He always comes and finds me, because I'm always somewhere, either like checking my makeup's okay, drinking water, filling up my water bottle, and he always comes and finds me. Then I have Tanner Levick, who plays Rumpelteazer, and she always gives what she calls a lick. So she just takes a finger and she licks her finger and then puts it behind your neck. And that's like my little good luck charm. And then I always have to go find our dance captain, Morgan Marshall, and give a little hug and a little bum slap. And then we're ready to go. Those are my pre-show more rituals. And then I start at the top, like I said. So I climb a ladder, and then I have my own little personal box where I just sit and I like do a little bit of abs to make sure that my core is engaged. And then I just sit there and I do a little prayer, and I listen to the audience come in. I sometimes give a little peek to see, who's out in the audience today. And then as soon as the lights go off, I sit there, I listen to the music, I watch my fellow cast run in for Green Eyes, and after that I do some lip trolls during the overture, and then I'm ready to go. But that's on a show. That's the show way to get ready. Meanwhile, in my day of my life, I usually wake up and take a hot shower, and then I end off with it being cold so that I feel awake and ready. Eat breakfast. Usually I try to preserve my voice as much as I can today because it's such a vocally demanding show. So I try to preserve it as much as I can, or sometimes I just speak and I'll be like, oh, well, it is what it is. And then I head off to the theater, and that is where the real magic takes place, because it's putting on the makeup. Putting on the makeup it took me 2 hours in the beginning to put it on, because you do it yourself. And it took me 2 hours to do it. And it was the most difficult thing I ever had to do. It was so rough. I was sitting there after the first week of shows, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. It's not perfect, and it's not working, and just nothing's going right. And then I realized that it doesn't matter. It just has to be, it will work out. And now by the end of our Johannesburg run, I got it down to 1 hour 20, and you get notes on it every now and then, and they're always there to help you, and they're always here to give advice. And yeah, now I feel really confident in doing my makeup there. I mean, I haven't done it in a while, but I know I could sit there and I just go dab, 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 and I know exactly what to do. I might take a little bit longer, but when I go back, but I'll still know exactly what to do. And then by the end of the show, I usually do a vocal cool down while I'm removing my makeup, and I get home and I usually drink hot chamomile tea with some honey, and I have a bottle with a straw in it, and I usually fill it up a quarter of the way, and then I do some vocal exercises that I got from a speech therapist, which has truly changed my voice. And then off to bed, and the day starts again.
All right, now that you've got that from you. Andrew Lloyd Webber's score for Cats includes one of the most recorded, most beloved songs in all of musical theater, We Love Memory. But Tugger's 2 solos, we talked about magical Mister Mistoffelees. We haven't talked about the other one, which is the Rum Tum Tugger. It's one of the most exhilarating numbers in the show. What do you think it is about Lloyd Webber's writing for Tugger specifically that makes the Rum Tum Tugger so durable, so loved, even 4 decades on?
I must say, as soon as you hear that guitar go, there is just something, for me specifically as well, there's something that goes over my hairs and over my whole body that just stands up. I feel like electricity goes over my whole body, and I just feel this energy surge over me. There is nothing like it when that song starts to play. I mean, the orchestration of this whole show is incredible, but I might be biased here, but I love Tugger's music so much. I just feel like it adds so much to the song, and what makes it enjoyable. I remember people going afterwards being like humming some tunes that Tugger sings, and I'm like, that is the reason. That is the reason it lasts long. It has a memorable melody. It has some really brilliant words and pretty funny words. It shows off character. It shows who Tugger is. It shows Tugger's vocal range, which is it's a nasty one, but it's a fun one. And it's just, as an audience member, I believe, because I've never seen Cats live, but through the movie and how I felt watching the Rum Tum Tugger for the first time, when I sit there and if I were to sit there and watch me perform this role and watch or someone else perform this role, I would just imagine to see someone having so much fun. I would imagine someone being a rock star, an iconic rock star. And I feel like that is what makes it so durable, like why this song works so many years, because it doesn't matter how old things get, rock stars will always be in our world. It's inevitable that this will happen. You'll always have someone who literally stands out and owns the stage. And I think that's very evident in a character like Tugger. He's allowed to own the stage. He's allowed to be the standout. Well, not a standout, but like he's allowed to be like a star in his own world. He's allowed to shine, which I really enjoy, and which why I think it is so memorable for some people, because they see, someone he's really having a good time.
When you finally take Tugger's mane off for the last time here in India, let's say the last show you've done that run, what do you most want to have learned from him? And what do you hope Indian audiences who are meeting you for the first time will remember about Dylan Janse van Rensburg long after the curtain falls? Really, what is your fingerprint for Rum Tum Tugger, the thing that you hope someone will remember as uniquely yours?
Sure. Yeah, no, that's a very good question. The Rum Tum Tugger, like when I have to take that mane off for the last time in India, it's gonna be an emotional one. Taking off that mane at the end of Cape Town, at the end of Joburg, it doesn't get easier. After every country we go to, I know it's gonna be difficult, because Tugger is very, very, very different to other cats. First of all, he's a lot bigger. He has his own ways of living. He has his own life. And one thing that I want to learn from him is that it's okay to be a little different. It's okay to be a little spicy and dramatic and live in your own world, but also be aware of your surroundings and how you act. Like, it's beautiful to see that he can be himself. And he doesn't care what people think. He goes out there and he gives his own energy and his own way to life. And I aspire to be like that. He has drive. He doesn't have anything holding his back. The world is literally his oyster. And that's what he believes. That's how he walks through life. He's like, this is my world. I'm going to live in it. I love that. I love that he has the confidence to be like, yeah, people can say what they want, but here I am and I'm going to do my thing every single day. And that is what I wish people would take with them, being like our tribe, our Jellicle tribe. It could be like the whole world. And I remember in high school, like, you can be in this grade, but if you want to stand out and make your own path, make your own world, it is possible. You can do it, because there are people that are there that can hold you and love you and will do anything for you, but you are still there and you can still hold them as well. You can be there and shine your own light. You don't have to follow the path of everybody else. You can take a step back, stand on a pipe and sing while everybody is following another path, because your future, it's limitless. You can do anything with your life if you just believe it. And if you have the confidence to do it, hell yeah, go for it. Because Tugger is a prime example of why it works. And you can see it. He has fun, and yeah, there might be some bad repercussions here and there, but you learn from them and you learn from the mistakes. And by the next time you become a better version of yourself, which Tugger ends up doing. And he accepts that he just belongs in this tribe of beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cats and characters around him. So taking off the Tugger mane, it's gonna be rough. It's like saying goodbye to a beautiful, beautiful character of who in the end only wants one thing, and that is family and love and support. So to be it and to be able to show people that you can be who you want to be, and you must just let your light shine, and you must not let anything stop you. Yeah, it's truly, I think Tugger is such an inspiration to a lot of people. Especially he was to me as a young man. Like, I was sitting there being, like I said, I will never have the confidence to do that. And yet here I am doing it. This character inspired me to have that confidence to do it. And I hope I get to inspire people to have the confidence to do what they want to do, to live their own rock star diva life. Like, even if it's something that has nothing to do with the theater world or anything, you can be a rock star in any line of work. You can have your own star. You can have your own shining light coming out of you. Even if you work in anything, you can make it your own. You can be your own. You can be your own rock star. So that is one thing I wish people take away, is that no matter what you do, just keep your light shining, keep being happy, keep having your confidence in yourself. Because once your confidence goes, you feel alone.
All right. There one show every weekday, 7:30 p.m. 2 shows over the weekend, 2:30 in the afternoon, and then 7:30 p.m. They're running from the 17th of June to the 28th of June at the Grand Theatre, Mukesh Ambani Cultural Center. And the NMACC can't wait for everybody to see Cats by Andrew Lloyd Webber. Please get tickets at Book My Show at nmacc.com and at the venue, NMACC at the Bandra Cultural Complex. Dylan, I look forward to seeing you in India. Take care of yourself, and I really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Cheers.
Thank you.
One world, your station.